Okay, so this is the object. So what you just need to do to add the color is just to select the object you want to add color to. Once you select the object, you come down to this place where you have a material, click on the material, then it's going to load this for you. So right now you don't have any color, so you just need to click on this new. Once you click on the new, it's going to add a material to this object, and whatever material you have, you now start having option to change the base color. So if you come to this base color, you click on this color swatch, you can choose any color you want. So right now, if I choose this color, for instance, you notice that you will not see anything, even though I have this color changed. I'm not seeing the preview. The reason why you're not seeing preview is because you are still in this shaded mode. You have to come to this one that shows color. So if I click on this material preview, it's going to give you the preview. So that's how. So if you come back here, you can change it to any color I want now. That color is what I'm going to have. Then we can just mix it by clicking on this black color, changing the value and the saturation. Okay, so that's how you will change that. So for you to see this guy, the lights you have added here, you just click on your render. So you can see this guy. This is what you're going to see when you add your light into this object. So there's another way you can also add objects whereby you have different materials on different parts of the object. So let me just quickly show you now. So if you select this guy, for instance, you need to add a base color for this before you now start adding other things. So if I select this, I can go to its material for this cube. So once I go to the material for the cube, you notice here is automatically adding this material. So I can also switch it to be sure which one I want to add. If I choose this, that's what it has. If I click here, I choose this is what we have. So this will give me the base color. If I don't want this color, I can go and change to anything I want. So let's just say this is what we are going to add to this object. Then this is more like the base color. What can I now do if I want to give, let's assume the top of this guy a different color? And all you need to do is you have to be in your modeling mode. If you hit tab, you just select all of these spots. So I'll just click on polygon, select this loop by holding down Alt, then hold down Shift to add all of this into the selection. So I can quickly turn off this subdivision so that I can have everything I want to select. So if I switch to circular selection, it will help me. Holding down Shift, I can add all of this to my selection. So once I add this to my selection, be sure everything is added. I will need to orbit, add also here into my selection orbit. Make sure everything is included in my selection. Once I'm sure of this selection, then I can now also add another material. So just go back to your material and add another material. I can see that the new that we added before, you don't have it anymore. So you just click on the new by adding the plus here. Right now you have that plus, but this plus, we don't have anything added. I have to now click new for you to have this here. So I can call this color 2. So now, how do I add this color 2 to this object? It's very simple. Just while this is selected, click on assign. It's going to be assigned to this. So whatever color I give this guy will have, so only the top will have that color. So just say this is here. I'll bring this, reduce this saturation, and I also want to reduce this. And then I can now say maybe this place also I want to give it a different material. So just click here, choose. So if I hold down Control, I can take out of my selection. So I'll just pick all of these guys, Control Z, Shift, Control, take that out. Here, hold down Shift to add this into my selection, Control, take that out. So you just need to pick all of the things you want to add this selection to. Let's just say this also. Just want to have a different material for all the buttons. you need to be very careful when selecting this. So zoom here, select that, select all of these, hold down shift, Ctrl Z, Ctrl to select that. So let's assume these are the buttons and I want to give them a different material. It's still the same approach. Once they are selected, click on new and new. We call these buttons. Then I'm going to assign. You can see now I have a different material. So let's say my button will have maybe more of a yellowish color. And then I may need to reduce the value and also desaturation. And then once I'm done, that's just it. You can see you can add two different materials on one object. So if I go back to my object, I can go and activate this. So this is my button, or this is my remote, so to say, that has different material. So talking about rendering this, you will need to be in your camera, just like Claire said. You click on 0 key on your number key to be on your camera, right? So once you get into your camera, or another way you can do that is by clicking on this camera toggle button. Once you click here, so that's for those who don't have number key. So if you click on this, it takes you into the camera, and now you're in the camera. If I click here, I'm going to see the way the lighting will look like. So how do we now render this? If you hit F12, F12 will render your viewport, as you can see here. So this is what Claire was saying. After this has rendered, you can just come here and go to your image and you can save as. But I don't render with this because this doesn't really give me a clean render. So what I will do is I will first off go into my render settings. So if I come into this place in my render setting, I don't want to use if, I want to use circle. And once I click on cycle, then you can start to see that it will start rendering. But I'll just go out into this. I don't want to render in that method. Then here you can start to change some things, your noise threshold, all of this. But for now, this is fine. So where you just need to go to is your output. This is where you choose your resolution. So I think I'm fine with this resolution. Let me just reduce this actually. So 1280 by 720. And everything is fine as is. Then for me to now do a final render, I will have to come up to this menu where you see render, and I'll click on render image. Then it's going to render this image out. So once this image is done rendering, I can now save. All right. So let's just wait for this. This is rendering, and I may not have that time to wait for final rendering. So let me just say I want to save this. I'll just click on image. Save. It's okay. I have to wait for this to be done. So I'll just pause this and wait for it to be done. All right, so I actually forgot something. It was just rendering, so I had to come back. So I needed to set my time limit because I can't wait for that to continue. So I'll just set my time limit to 60 seconds so that I can render in 1 minute. Then another thing is I'll activate my denoiser. Those are just the two things I want to do so that by the time I'm rendering, it will render for exactly 1 minute and then denoise. So I'll have to come back here, then render image. And this image will be rendered for exactly 1 minute. And after 1 minute, it will stop. And after which I will now have to save. So just wait for this. All right, so this is the final render, and it took exactly 1 minute and just added 12 seconds. So for me to save this, just come to image, save as. And once I click on the save as, it's going to tell me where do I want to put this guy. So I'll just put it on my desktop. So desktop, and then I'll just give it a name. And also I'm having PNG, that's the file format I want to do. Just call this test. So just save the image as that. So once I have that saved, that's it, nothing more. Okay, so if you look at this now, I have that file that I have saved. So this is the image. I can put it on my phone, share anywhere I like. This is how you save it out with your lights showing and materials now.